If you're over 40 and you want to become strong, fit, and lean without going to the gym twice as fast, then download my free ebook in the first link in the description. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another podcast, another episode, and I have with me Aleksandr Khvostov. Did I pronounce it right?
Right.
Right, great. So, ladies and gentlemen, Alex is a phenom. I've been following him for a long time now on Instagram, and the weight this guy is snatching, it's 32 is like, wow, that's heavy, but he picks up 44s, 48s, 52s, I think 56, and he makes it look effortless. Even though I have to say, when you pick up the 56, we finally see some strain in your face. Other than this, you're highly focused, which is so incredibly powerful. So in this episode, I want to learn from the master, want to learn about the snatch. And Alex, so welcome to the podcast. Great having you.
Hi, everyone.
All right. So Alex, give us your background. How did you get started with kettlebells? As far as I know, you now live in Costa Rica, right? And just give us your story. How did you get started and how did you end up where you are currently?
I started 24 years ago when I was in army. I lifted, first time I lifted 224 kilograms jerk. I did 9 reps, I think 9 or 10 reps or 8 reps, something like this. I started training, and 1 month later I did maybe 30 reps, something like this, and I started training. I was doing something, and finally I met my coach Sergey Rudnev, and then since that moment I started training seriously with him, and I achieved a master sport rank after two years of training with him. This I think it's first serious stage of preparation.
Wow. So only after 2 years you achieved masters of sport in jerk, snatch, or what discipline?
It is only 2 disciplines. It's long cycle and some of biathlon with 32 kilograms to make a master sport run.
So back then, so that's 22 years ago, right? So it was long cycle and then you said biathlon, so it's
only
jerk
biathlon.
Only
jerk
biathlon.
So
jerk and snatch. That's it. So long cycle didn't exist back then, right?
It was, but I didn't train it.
All right.
Sometime, but not seriously.
And then what happened? So that was like after 2 years of training, you got master of sport, and then
I kept training, and in 2006 I achieved a rank of master sport international class. And I won Russian Cup.
The Russian Cup, yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Wow. It's different with Russian Championship. It's not level of Russian Championship. It's more low, but it was good achievement, I think.
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, we all know that, you know, Russian lifters, you guys, whenever you take the stand on the platform, it's just game over for everybody else. I just saw a video where it was you, Johnny Benitez, and then a couple of other dudes. It was, I think you did 20 or 15 or 20 minutes of jerk. And then you had, I think you did like 3 or 4 minutes. Then the next guy came up, and it was, I think, a battle against every other nation. and you guys killed everything.
You mean it is relay?
Yeah, relay, yes, and it was only jerk. So Johnny started with 60 reps, right? And then I think you moved in like third or fourth, and it's just, you know, everybody else knows when you guys step up to the stage, it's everybody could leave actually.
It was interesting.
So that was 22 years ago. You got Master of Sport, and then like 4 years later, you got Master of Sport International class, or what's that? 2 years later?
Yeah, that's right. And next year, in 2007, I won. First time I won. I got first title of Russian champion. I won a Russian championship. First time.
And this was in your weight class, right? So
yeah, exactly. It was 70 kilogram. But in 2006, I won. I won Russian Cup in category 68.
68 kilograms. All right. So how heavy are you now?
It's different all the time. I started with body weight maybe 80 kilogram, and then I made I achieved the Master of Sport rank in 2010 in weight category 75. And then I dropped my weight, my body weight, and I made Master of Sport International class in category 65 kilogram.
So from 80 down to 65.
Yeah, and then in next year I won a Russian championship in category 70.
So I love that. So you're like, all right, whatever weight class there is, I'm gonna beat everybody. I love that.
No, it's
all right. But I mean, it takes a lot to lose weight, to go down. What's your natural body weight? Where do you feel most comfortable at?
I think it's my comfortable body weight about 70. I don't know. It depends on kind of training. If training not hard, it's about 70, 75 to 78. If not training hard few weeks and eating a lot, maybe 80 kilograms some days.
All right.
My best body weight, I think it's under 70. 70 kilograms. And just the best shape I showed, the best shape was when I was in 68 category.
Wow.
Because to get this weight, I need to train a lot. I need to have a good diet.
Yeah.
For this right food.
Yes.
To do a lot of cardio training.
And I just imagine, so you're on this weight loss goal to go down from 80 kilograms to 65, or, you know, even if it's 75 to 65. So that's a big leap. So you are in a calorie deficit, which means you don't have a lot of energy, but you still keep pumping out these very intense workouts to hit Master of Sport rank. So, or MSIC even. So were there times when you were in the calorie deficit where you felt like, man, it's just, I don't have no energy, I don't feel comfortable? Or were you like, you know, I just do it, I didn't feel no difference? How was that?
I just changed direction of training and more use I do just more volume of training, and I do more cardio training. It's Actually, kettlebell sport it's more in kettlebell sport more important endurance than the strength.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
if you have big muscles require more oxygen, for example, and you need to train. You need to adapt your body with your extra muscles. You need to train even more if you have bigger body weight. And if when you're losing weight, it's more easy for especially for your heart to training. You need less oxygen. Your muscle need
Yes.
less oxygen, for example.
So I've heard that oftentimes many people have mentioned it that kettlebell sport is actually way more endurance. Would you say this of all the three disciplines? So that even the long cycle or the jerk are rather endurance focused, even with the double 32s?
Yeah. Maybe a long cycle is more required more strength than biathlon. Biathlon, I think you need more. You need to have more endurance because you go to platform twice.
Yeah.
Do jerk and then snatch.
And are these two 5-minute sets or two 10-minute sets?
Exactly 10. It's 10.
And how much rest do you have in between the biathlon?
As the rule says, it no less than 30 minutes.
Wow. So,
but as practice on practices, it could be about 1 hour, but it's different in every competition. For example, in Russian championship, it's about from 40 minutes to 1 hour. On competitions, as practice on international competition and on world championship, it was 2-3 hours, and now it could be in different days.
Okay. So it depends on what kind of championship there is, how much rest you get in between.
Yeah, it depends on organization.
Of organization, yeah. So can you give us a little bit more background? What happened when you were in the army? How was kettlebell sport or just kettlebells back then? Was it in its infancy, just getting started, or was there already champions around swinging heavy weights and doing lots of reps? Where was the development of kettlebell sport these over 20 years ago?
I didn't know about when I started lifting kettlebell. It exists only 16, 24, and 32 kilograms kettlebell. No different weight. And I have heard about different weights only, but I didn't see it. Never seen this. And I already lifted 24 kilograms, 100 reps. But when I started lifted, when I was starting lift 32 kilograms, I could do only 22 reps and no more. And I got the idea to make a different weight of kettlebell. And I made the first I made from 24 kilograms, I made 26. And I was lifting during 2 weeks, lifting 26 kilograms. And next 2 weeks, I increased the weight of kettlebell. I 8 kilograms to kettlebell. and I was lifting 28 kilograms.
Yeah.
And then I tried to lift 32, and I lifted 40 reps. It was the progress.
Yes. Yes. It's progression, right? Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
wonder it's how it's possible. So I understand. I understand that we need to have different different weight of kettlebell.
Yes. It's a good progressive system.
We need
Yes.
to make this short steps to increase result.
Exactly. And what do you make of the current? Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
No. This I finished.
Okay. So what do you make out of the current landscape of kettlebells? So, you know, Pavel, Hardstyle, Flows, Instagram, YouTube, because you're for those who don't know, and that's important if you're listening or watching this podcast, you got to check out Aleksandr Khvostov. He's really, you are an elite kettlebell lifter, right? There's many. I mean, I even now participated in a championship, so I got a candidate master of sport with the 32 kg and a snatch, which I'm really happy with. I got a couple of reps in, but you are elite, like Denis Vasilev, like Denisov. And so, what do you think of the current landscape of kettlebells? Somebody with your level of fitness and with your expertise.
Do you mean what is my
your opinion about, you know, popular kettlebell training and just everything in general as an elite lifter?
I think this kettlebell sport is growing up. It gets more popular, but too many. The most I see more the most people training just use doing just general training with kettlebell, not as kettlebell sport, but just bodybuilding or fitness. How to say?
Yeah, just
but
for general fitness.
Not direction, not sport direction. But it's maybe it is good to starting. And for because only few people can stay 10 minutes and ready, especially psychologically to stay 10 minutes, even with slight weight. But now it's good. Now we have many different kettlebell weights, and the people can start with light kettlebell. It's so good. It's not like before on 24 kilogram and you must lift 24. It's no way.
So and so you think that that's a good thing, right? So that, you know, the popularity of kettlebells is growing. People just use it for general fitness. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
It's not just focusing on kettlebell sport, but just opening it up and generally using it as a great tool. And then actually some people fall into, you know, discover a gear voice sport, right, or kettlebell sport, and think, wow, it's a cool way to go.
Yeah, eventually I think the people will go to real interesting in kettlebell sport as sport, and number of competition I think increasing, and so more different many different discipline, not discipline, but a different time, maybe 5 minutes, or people can compete in 3 minutes only. Some sprints with different weight. It's good for starting, good for very beginner athletes. I think it's good.
Yeah, and I appreciate that too. These 5 minute sets. Because that
It's
was
good
my
to start. It's good
yeah.
to
It's
start.
perfect to start.
But
Yeah,
we
it's
need to
way
do,
better.
we need to divide the professional and beginner, amateur.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we need to divide by beginners, amateur, and professional.
And professionals. Yeah, most definitely. So, who would you rank currently as one of the best kettlebell sport athletes and kettlebell lifters that's alive today?
Johnny.
Johnny Benitez. How heavy is Johnny?
He I don't know how heavy is he how heavy he is, but his body weight category is 63.
What is it with Johnny? I mean, his performance is outlandish. But I mean, you met him, you know him, right? So and you trained together, and like in that relay you had in the jerk set. What makes Johnny so special? What's going on with this guy?
He's training hard. He was training hard all the time. I remember many. He could spend many hours in the gym, not stopping training. And for example, his result was jerk. I think not. I I think 151. If I am right, with 32 kilogram in 63 body weight category.
It's just it's
151.
madness. It's madness.
It's madness, yeah.
And what was his major discipline was jerk and long cycle, but he also snatched, right? And his snatch was like over 200, right?
He did. I think he won some competition in long cycle, but not practiced too much. And his discipline is biathlon, jerk and snatch.
Yeah. So actually, a lot of the elite lifters, they're into the biathlon, right? So where it's doing the jerk and the snatch, and not just one discipline only.
Now many long cycle is grown up long cycle athletes, but maybe 20 years ago the strongest athletes was mostly in biathlon. But now it's the level of athletes in long cycle increased.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, and you've seen this, right, over the years. So the level is increasing. People always do more reps, and it's just and the knowledge is better, right? People know more. You have better trainers, better coaches. The popularity is growing. So yeah, that's also one of the reasons why the level is now way higher than back then when you started, right? Where it was only 16, 24, and 32, and there you go. Now train, and that's powerful. And let's focus a little bit on the snatch now. What makes a good snatch? So, and I'm just asking for myself because I have you now with me on the call. My goal is master of sport with the snatch. So, and I was able to do 85 reps with the 32 in 5 minutes, and 84. I had one no count. And so in my body weight class, 74, and it's according to the ranking of the IKO from Dennis, I need to hit 106 reps in 10 minutes for the Master of Sport and 139 for Master of Sport International class. So what would you recommend for somebody who already has a little bit of experience with the 32 and the snatch? What would be your programming to bring somebody up to that level?
It's just if you use just mat we will use. So you need to, your goal, final goal is about 150, right? 148.
139 in my case, yeah.
What?
139. Yeah, 139 is a Master of Sport International class according to the IKO from Denis Vasilev.
Okay, so about 140.
Yes, above 140. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
140. Okay. So it means you need to stay with one. You need to stay 10 minutes with the pace 14.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. 114 with 32. It's about 150, 150 reps with 30 kilograms. And just average, very average. And or 160, 160, it means 80 reps each hand. 160, 170 with 28. Or it means, or maybe, and you can start with goal 220, for example, 110 reps each hand with 24. So you need to start with to make that goals to increase the result of light kettlebells and increase the kettlebell weight during the macro cycle and moving to your goal. So like this.
I like that. So yeah, if I understand this correctly, the goal is first use lighter kettlebells, aim for more reps, like you said, 24, 200. So that's 100 per arm. Let's, very casually speaking. And then maybe with the 28, you aim for 170. So bringing the reps for the lightweights up and then tackling the 32. And not just, right? Not just simply focusing on just, I'm only doing 32s and that's it.
Yeah. Because when you will train, for example, if you start training, exactly, you will do 32 kilogram, maybe you will lift it 10, 20, 30 reps, 40 reps, but you will improve it not much. Maybe if you will train only with 32, if you will not be able to stay all time, all 5 minutes, every hand, you will not reach the good result. So you need to start with kettlebell. You're able to stay longer time. That's my idea.
Yeah, I like that.
And then you will slowly increase the weight. And by increasing the weight, you're reducing the pace.
You get slower.
And keep the same the same time, and keep the same time of sets. Because your goal is your final goal 10 minutes, 5 minutes, for example, or something 5:30, 4:30. You need to stay 10 minutes with one switching hand.
So goal is survive the 10-minute set with a lighter kettlebell, then hit the goal reps, like 200 with the 24, 170 with the 28, and then you challenge yourself with the 32 to hit those 140 that I need to hit in 10 minutes, which is a 14 RPM. Yes, great. Got that. And what is your strategy behind your heavy snatches? I mean, people, one really has to see it when you snatch 56 kilogram, right? Where you attach these chips on the bell. It's like a 56, right?
It's not for not any goals. I'm doing just for fun.
I like that.
Yeah.
I snatch 56 for fun. That's
It not
what I do.
helps. It not really helps to
Okay.
for resolve with 32. No.
Interesting. Interesting. So okay, so you're saying even though you're snatching these heavy weights, what you're saying is for fun, but you also say this is probably not helping me to increase my reps with the 32 for a 10-minute set.
No.
Interesting.
No, it not. It isn't. But it can help. It can help. It can help if you use it heavy weight. Because when you use heavy weight, your body, especially your muscles, joints, ligaments, your peripheral nervous system adapt for the weight for weight for heavy weight.
Exactly. Yeah.
And for example, if you first time in your life you will take 24 kilograms, even 16 kilograms you will take, you will feel your muscle will contract, all your muscle, your stabilizer, antagonist muscles will contract to protect your joint from the harm. It's but when you will train with more heavy weight and you will take 16 again, your muscle will be already adapted and you will able to relax with 16. And the same it works with heavy weight. When you to adapt for heavy kettlebell, you can use more heavy weight. I remember when I tried to I started training with 30 to 40 kilograms. It was, I don't know, maybe 12 years ago. I noticed I can relax with 32. I full relax in overhead. It wasn't problem for me.
And we see that in your videos. It's even with the very heavy weights, you still look comfortable with even the 40 and 44. And what's so crazy is your technique almost doesn't change. So your reps look almost similar, independent of how heavy the kettlebell is. This is very impressive.
It's a little bit changing.
Well, yeah, maybe you see it probably, yes, but you know, from my perspective, it might maybe changes a little bit, but we still see almost the exact same movement patterns, like with the lighter weights, which I think is so fascinating. And what do you make out of, let's say, like a typical training day? In your case, Alex, let's say, all right, our goal is to hit those 200 reps with the 24 in order to build up the volume for the 32 to get master of sport, so on and so forth. How would a typical training day look like? Would you say, all right, I do a little bit of a warm up and then I'll go grab the 24 and let's go? Or would you do some additional exercises, maybe some cardio stuff in the same workout? What would that look like? What would you focus on the most?
The structure of training session is like this. You do warm up, general warm up, and warm up with kettlebells. For example, if your main set is with kettlebell 24 kilogram, you can do 5 reps each hand with light kettlebells, and then I like to take 2 kilograms heavier weight before main set. For example, about jerk, when I came to training and heavy 32 kilograms, I felt it too heavy. I can't relax as I wanted. I couldn't relax. So I made it. I made it. I made it be lighter. How to say?
Mm-hmm.
I took 34 kilograms, and then 36 kilograms, 38 kilograms, 40 kilograms, if felt good, and I came back to 32, and after 40 kilogram, 32
Yeah, it's light. Yeah, it's
felt
lightweight.
so
Yeah.
so easy.
I like that approach.
So it's so you can use heavier the kettlebell heavier weight than you use your working set
Mm-hmm.
on warm up, and then you do working set, maybe 2, 1, or 3, depends on the program, and after this you do GPP, general exercise.
Afterwards. So you say, hey, let's focus on the main set first, or whatever you're trying to build. So whether that is the
Yeah.
snatch or the jerk or the long cycle, doesn't matter. So you focus on the main lift, and afterwards you do a little bit of GPP, whatever that may be.
Yeah, exactly. And if you train only 3, 4 times a week, you after main training you do cardio. But I prefer to separate cardio with main training or strength training. I prefer to do cardio in another day, or on the same day, but with another time.
With a big break, yeah. And what type of cardio are you engaging in, and what type of cardio would you recommend for these types of exercises?
The most natural cardio, it's running. It's more natural because it's everyone can run.
And what type of duration would you aim for? 30 minutes, 45, an hour, or?
It depends of the of shape. It depends of the level of preparation. But I recommend to start with light volume of cardio and increase it to 1 hour. Sometime I made volume 3 years ago. I remember in rest day between training session, I could do in the morning 20 kilometers running, and afternoon 20 kilometers running again. It was like rest day.
Goes to show how high your level of fitness is if you can do like 40 kilometers of running, yes, with breaks in between, but still that's major in between working days or training days, right? So that's your rest day, and you're like, all right, let's go run 40K, 20 in the morning and 20 in the evening. Wow.
I was adapted.
Yeah.
For 20 kilometers for me was nothing. I even didn't want to drink, for example.
Wow. So it's a 10K and like it's like a walk in the park. It's like
It was but I was preparing for this for a long time. It's not.
Yeah, of course. Then it's not. That doesn't happen in a day. Yeah.
I spent a lot of time for preparing. Now it's hard for me to run. Not hard, but it's not easy for me to run even 10 kilometers because I reduce the volume of cardio now.
Would you consider a certain level of cardio, whether that be 30 minutes or 1 hour, would you consider cardio as an important necessity to prepare for a 10-minute set? 32, whether that be snatch or jerk or long cycle, doesn't matter? Or would you say, no, it's additional stuff, but you actually don't have to just build up the reps with the snatch or the particular exercise, just build up the volume?
You need to do cardio because you need to the key ability, key factor is general endurance, as I think in kettlebell sport. General endurance is the base of kettlebell sport. The base of, I think,
you're saying general
any cycling kind of sport.
You're saying general endurance, just to understand it clear. General endurance, or how did you call it?
General endurance.
General endurance. Yeah. Okay, got it. Just to make sure.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the base of it, and that's accordingly you have to build it. Yeah, I understand that. And just out of curiosity, how would you rate my set if you know that, all right, this guy was able to do 85 reps in 5 minutes? Where do you rank this performance? Do you say, well, that's complete beginner, that's a novice, that's somewhere in the middle? What would you rate? How would you rate that?
85 reps in 5 minutes.
Yes, and I switched hands after 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So I think I did.
You mean snatch?
Yes, snatch. I think I did 35 with the left, and then 40, 50, or I don't know, 40, 40, something. I can't remember, but it was 85 total. And I switched. Of course, my right hand is my dominant hand, so I did more with my right hand. And at the end, I was going for a sprint. I did 25 reps in 1 minute. So I was going balls to the wall.
Do you mean it's 32 kilograms?
Yes, with the 32. So how would you rate that, my performance?
But it's, I think, between, but if you work with 32 kilograms, you're professional.
Yeah. That's
in competitions, you will see. The professional
is 32.
32 kilograms.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and I competed, right? So I competed in. Yes. So I competed in last week was the IKFF championship from Steve Carter, and I competed there. I sent in my video submission, and I did 85 reps with the 32 kg. And just my question is, how do you rate?
It's good results. Good result.
I just wanted to hear this from you.
I
appreciate that. I appreciate
when I made first time when I made Master of Sport run, my result in snatch was I think 42 each hand.
Wow.
42, yeah. I did jerk, I think 82 jerks. And snatch 42 each hand, or 45.
Yeah, but I mean, that's in the biathlon, right? So you did jerk and then snatch, right?
Yeah.
And I only did snatch. So I think you can't compare this. I was way more relaxed than you were.
I was 20, so it's no matter. After 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I was fresh.
Yeah.
No matter. After jerk.
Okay, I get that. Yeah, but still, I mean, if I had to do double 32s jerk, I mean, I probably my snatch would not be the same. But actually, I'm happy with the results. So that's why I'm aiming for Master of Sport, and
it's good results.
I appreciate that. But when I compare it, when you do in 5 minutes, what is your what I think I saw it on your Instagram, but I just wanted to ask, what was your best result now with your level of expertise now with one arm? I think you do like 135 or 140 reps or something, or with your right hand. I think right hand or left hand is your dominant hand, right? Is your stronger side?
No, it's I think my right is strongest. But
all right.
Now I don't know.
And but you do like 120 reps something in 5 minutes with one side, right?
without switching in 5 minutes, I think I could do maybe 115.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no,
That's so impressive. And
maybe 120 if I will prepare, but no, I think no more. With switching, I did 130.
130 in 5 minutes.
In 5 minutes, yeah.
That's crazy. And it's just, I mean, one has to experience it to understand it. The 32 kg is such a beast. And when I see you cranking it out, it's very inspiring. It's just, like I said, your technique almost doesn't change. And your face is always calm. I like that. This is one thing that I took from you guys. Your face doesn't flinch. Nothing changes. No expression. Are you doing this? I'm assuming you're doing this intentionally. Were you taught like this, or because I do it too, but because I was taught like this? But what's up with the face? No change. Because you see people, right? They make strange faces and stuff, and yours is ice cold. Why do we do this?
Because you need to relax all your face muscle. You need to relax your neck. It's so important. You need to relax your neck for breathing, for blood circulation. It's so important.
Wow.
If you do like this, but
yeah, just tension.
It's not good. It's not good. At least it's not good for health to hold the breath.
And let's talk a little bit about breathing. How does your breathing look like? Are you just exhaling through the mouth and that's it? Or are you also inhaling through the nose? What's your breathing technique?
Both through mouth and nose at the same time. And I do exhale. I do exhale strong and fast, fully exhale. And inhale should be naturally to anatomical anatomical position without deep inhale.
I totally get what you mean.
Without making any effort, without any effort.
Exactly. And from a rhythm perspective, how do you breathe in the snatch? So you drop it. I mean, I'm assuming when it lands in the top fixation, you exhale, right? And where do you inhale when you drop it? And with the nose, what's happening?
When kettlebell starts dropping, the chest is free. I do inhale.
Yes.
And then when the arm dropped on the stomach and press the stomach, I do exhale. And finish the exhale when kettlebell is in back that point. And then when kettlebell started move forward, I do inhale and stop when kettlebell, and I stop finish exhale when kettlebell is in front position. And then inhale I do on acceleration pull, and on insertion I do exhale.
Yes.
So 3 cycles.
Yeah.
To make fast fast snatch, to have fast pace, I do only 3 cycles of breathing. But it's not enough if I will do 10-minute set at 32. I need to do one time on fixation.
Yes, I get that. And
I tried, but it doesn't work. It isn't working because not enough oxygen.
Yes. And how important would you rate breathing for these types of exercises? How important is it for somebody to learn how to breathe?
So important. It's key element of any. The breathing is key element of any cycling sport. It's so important. Especially very important part is exhale. You need to do. You need to keep the breathing. You don't need to hold it after inhale. You can hold after exhale, but no after inhale. After inhale, you need to immediately make exhale.
Mm-hmm.
Do not keep the. Do not keep it.
Mm-hmm. And I like how you describe this. I exactly understand what you mean with this natural breathing, right? Because when you exhale and so the air is leaving the body, it's just that pump system from the lungs that you then automatically inhale. So you let your body work. You don't do it forcefully, right? I think that's what you're talking about, right? Mm-hmm.
It's important to be able to relax. Because on in kettle sport you are muscle all the time, contraction and relaxing
Mm-hmm.
all the time. You need.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's powerful. And what would you rate at when we stay with the snatch? What is one of the most important elements of technique that one has to learn? Or maybe there are more according to your perspective when it comes to the snatch. What do we have to focus on? Yeah.
Every element is important, but the first to start to be able to do at least a few reps, the athlete need to understand how to insert the hand into the handle. It's the first to understand the first moment, and next. But if as practice, you can just to see. You can just you can check videos from the competition athlete, and you can make your own statistic in what moment athletes losing athlete lose lose kettlebells in in which part of snatch. I think it is. I don't have this such statistic, but as I think they lose mostly on the dropping, the first and second on doing acceleration pull. It means that part is more weak of the snatch technique. It is dropping because the speed of kettlebell and kettlebell acceleration and as a result, the weight of kettlebell on dropping increased too much. So it kettlebell weight increased and kettlebell weight increased too much, and it's so hard for grip muscles. And on the moment of dropping, it is so important part. And then acceleration pull. And the most important thing in snatch, it is relax the grip muscle, not grip, and to right hand position on the right hand position. The handle should place on the right place in the hand on the palm. Not pulling, for example, not pulling the skin. It should be the skin should be free, not pulled.
This right.
Sometimes it happens because the grip. I have this, but sometime when but I have it when I try to accelerate. I change sometime my technique to accelerate. I can have, but you don't need to have it. You need to have Right. You need to keep the kettlebell on right place in your palm, on the base of the fingers.
It's right here, right at the top of the root of the fingers, right? You don't want to go too deep. But here's one important question that I have for you, Alex. So the 32 is so heavy. When you drop it, it immediately wants to go. I always say the 32 kg has such a strong relationship with gravity. So as soon as you unlock it, it wants to go down. Boom, right? Straight line. So when I catch it, I try to catch it here in the root of my fingers, but it just happens that it goes further down below inside my palm. Is that the issue of chalk, or is it the issue of my technique? So what can we do to keep it up here in the root, at the root of the fingers?
On dropping, you need to transfer your body, shift your body weight in opposite direction or in opposite side of kettlebell. So when kettlebells start dropping, you need to leaning back. And this moment when you're leaning back, you need to regrip it, and you need to regrip it. You need to regrip it. You don't need the handle of kettlebell. Don't need to. Shouldn't slide on your palm.
The jump.
And you need just to change. You need to change the arm position. You need to regrip.
And that, so you regrip the kettlebell as it drops right here. You don't regrip it in the backswing. It's right up here where you regrip it.
Yeah, by moving back.
Because I've heard also some different suggestions or recommendations where you regrip it as it drops down below, as it reaches your hip or that bottom. But you're saying at least that your technique, you say you regrip it almost immediately.
No, immediately. About maybe chest level, I think.
Chest level.
When the arm are parallel to the floor.
Yes.
The ground. But it's different technique. It's every technique can work.
It's a little bit different, yeah. So, but that's interesting. And how important do you think is the pendulum with the legs, right? With that dipping and extending? Because the way I do it, there's not a lot of, I don't extend the knees and the hips in the backswing. I rather do a kind of a deadlift snatch where the kettlebell drops, then I bend my knees a little bit, and then I swing it back up. And what you do is you do that beautiful pendulum. And I can do the pendulum with the 24 easily, with the 28 easily, not that easily, but with the 32, it's just the pendulum gets very hard for me to do. So I rather deadlift it. And how important would you rate that pendulum where you really segue that beautiful, where you catch the weight of the bell and you move back?
You not spend your muscle energy to stop the kettlebell. You just change direction of the kettlebell. And kettlebell lift it up on backswing by itself and stop by itself. And you use then you use the swing to make another repetition.
So what would you recommend for somebody like me who wants to work on that pendulum with the 32, where he keeps bending the knees? Because it's just, at least it feels to me that way, that it's a little bit too hard for me. What would you recommend to change, or what should I do?
You can do just backswing, swing, just swing kettlebell swing. With pendulum, you can use it. And to make it correctly, to keep the straight line, you understand? Straight line. The kettlebell with the arm. To understand how to make it, you can just make some rope and bond some rope on the kettlebell and try to make the pendulum with the rope. It will be not possible to make it wrongly.
Interesting. And would you also say that when you build up more volume with the lighter weights and always focus, and another or a better question, would you say that the pendulum, where you really straighten the legs and the backswing, is this one of the most important aspects of snatching high rep ranges?
What important for what?
When I drop the kettlebell, right, and then the kettlebell lands in the backswing, legs are extended, so knees are extended, right? Do you think that this is one of the most important elements of the snatch, or do you say no, your knees can still be a little bit bent, it doesn't matter?
The most important, it's like the rule. When kettlebell is in one position, your body weight is back all the time in opposite on the opposite side.
So it's this leaning back, right?
Yeah, and the legs are straightened. Legs straightened, body weight is back, and when kettlebell gets down, when kettlebell moves back to frontal plane, and when kettlebell is in frontal plane, your shoulders are in frontal plane too, not in front position. It's so important. And the knees are bent. And then after kettlebell across the frontal plane, after this only you need to move. You need to start moving the shoulders forward. And in the same moment, the shoulders move forward. In the same moment, you straighten the legs. Up the hips. Not move. Not pay attention. Not on straight the legs and the knees, but pay attention on up the hips. The hips should be stay in the frontal plane, not moving back. It's so important to make
in the drop when it drops, or when it comes back up in the acceleration.
No. I mean backswing. When kettlebell
backswing, yes.
Yeah, but the kettlebell across the frontal plane.
Yes.
Some athletes extend the legs.
Yes.
By moving the hips back.
Yes.
But you don't need. You need to up the hips. This for straight. More important to up the hips. More important than straight the legs.
Interesting.
You need to think of, you need to keep the hips in the frontal plane without moving back. You need. You don't need to have a horizontal movement of your hips. Hips move only down and up.
Down and up. Yeah.
I think you can. It might be difficult to imagine this. It's easy for me. Because,
yeah, of course.
Some people. You need to make it understand on practice.
And would you say that once you have mastered the fundamentals of the snatch, would you say that athletes then develop a little bit of their own technique? Would you agree?
Do you like what?
Once you have mastered the fundamentals of the snatch, would you agree that many athletes develop a little bit of their own technique? Where you see a little bit, I mean, you see the differences with some athletes, right? And so is it true that one day you probably reach a level where this is just your technique? You do it a little bit different, but it works for you, so it's fine.
Yeah, but it's the others don't need to make obvious mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some to not correct. Not, for example, as I said before, they don't need to leaning forward too early, like
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
To not
Yes.
use
Mm-hmm.
lower back muscles or overload the grip
Mm-hmm.
muscles.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
it's obviously element.
Yeah, I get that. It's I think the key is especially watching that's what I do, watching guys like you, watch how you move. Then of course, I've been taught techniques from various masters, and then I develop a little bit of my own, but still I always want to fine tune it a little bit. Do you also think that an athlete with your level is still fine tuning technique, or are you saying no, my technique is set in stone, that's it, I'm not changing anything, I stay like this?
No, exactly. I improve all the time my technique. Its technique is not only uh, quality of quality of mechanic movements.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
quality uh, of my muscle. It depends of my currently shape. It could be different all the time. My
Mm-hmm.
technique. If
Mm-hmm.
I lower the body weight, it's my technique can change.
Yes, of course, yeah.
You need all the time. I need to adapt my currently shape,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and exactly, it's everyone. Everyone is different. They need to have different technique. It's a technique is individual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Not like not no, others don't need to copy
Mm-hmm.
technique.
Mm-hmm.
Just need to follow the main rules,
I like that.
main elements. Follow main elements.
Yes, don't copy other athletes. But that so easily happens, right? Especially when you're getting started and you look at the elite guys and you think, oh, this is exactly how I have to move because they bust out these crazy numbers. That's good advice.
It's good, but maybe I need to see. I need to see technique from, for example, the same athletes from the same weight category, the same same level of strength, endurance,
Yes.
something.
Good point. Good point. Yeah.
Yeah, and exactly. My technique. I change my technique. I adapt my technique for my currently stuntman. And for example, I can, if I have problem with the grip, I can change the technique during the set. I can use more body transfer to protect the grip muscles, for example. Or if I train, if I feel the kettlebell is too heavy, I use on acceleration pull, I use the pushing by the same leg on acceleration pull. I use this. Or when I working with heavy weight, with 40 kilogram, I just, how to explain this correctly? I try to leaning forward with my hips.
Yeah.
I lean my hips on lean my hips forward in opposite direction of the kettlebell to use my body weight to facilitate.
Yes, yes. As much leverage as possible from your body weight. Yeah, I get that. It's powerful. So for the last couple of minutes, if you still have time, Alex, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions about the jerk. So we've covered the snatch a little bit. So when it comes to the jerk, what would you rate as the most important key element to master a good jerk?
The bump. I think the bump is the main element, and second dip.
Mm-hmm. Which one do you think is more important, the bump or the second dip?
I think the bump is more important. I think the both.
Both. Mm-hmm.
Are important. It depends. It's two different. I think I divide it for two different technique. The first, more paying attention on bump, and the second part, second group, athletes, more they are more pay attention on second dip. Different. If athletes use more, for example, use more bump, they need to stay, for example, they close the legs, closer position of the legs. On second dip, they need to stay, they use more wide legs position. It's more easier for second dip.
All right. So just so I understand it again, if you focus on the second dip, the drop, you stand a little bit wider, right?
Yeah.
And if you focus rather on the bump, you stand a little bit closer together.
That's right. You can adjust, you make just experiment. You can just make few jumps in normally position will be closer. Because vector of direction will be vertical direction of and movement.
From your perspective, where do you focus on? I mean, you now said a little bit 50-50, so both are important to you. But if you go deeper and say, all right, I favor one side over the other, which would it be? The bump or the second dip?
I think whether to have the balance.
Balance.
It depends. Yeah, and depends of the. It's individual. It depends of anatomical. Anatomy of every anatomy of athletes. For example, if athletes don't have good contact, the elbow with the hips, maybe with short arms, for example, they need to pay attention more on second because
they can't rest.
They don't need to do fast fast bump because the arm will be slight on the stomach. They need to use they need to use arm muscles finally.
So if for example, in my case, I think I have a good, I can reach my hips fairly good based on my length of my arm. So I'm good. So what would you recommend for me? I always feel a little bit more comfortable with it's hard for me to say even, but I think with a little bit of a stronger bump. So a little bit more push, but I immediately, and I saw Sergey Rudnev do this. So when he bumps, his neck even moves back. So the whole body is jolting back. And in some other athletes, they stay. It's just boom, and they gaze forward like this, boom, and they immediately drop. So I think that's a matter of technique. But what would you recommend for somebody like me who says, hey, I think I have a good, I have good contact, would you say, all right, so then focus on the bump because this might be your strongest hand?
What benefit of the fast bump?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can use more lactic energy, and you use it only with short, only when you do exercise, when you do movements fast. If you do it slowly, you can use elastic energy. So what benefit of a bump? But minus, maybe you overload your arm muscles, especially in overhead. When you catch it in overhead position, it could be shake, for example.
Yes, exactly.
So for me, as I think it should be, you need to have balance.
Yeah.
But fast second dip, it should be, the second dip should be fast.
Oh, that's good.
Exactly.
Second dip should be fast. Yeah. Because it's just how you describe it. When I bump too hard, bells fly up and I fall into the second dip, the bells wiggle because it's actually too much energy. So they want to go higher up. So I try to catch them and they wiggle around, or it's almost like they want to leave my forearm because it's not that perfect. It's not the perfect dosage where you boom catch them overhead right and they don't wiggle around. So exactly when you describe it, I know exactly what you mean because I experience this so often when I bump too hard. And so you're saying, and let's talk a little bit about the first dip. So loading the legs, right? When I have bells in rack position, so I have that kyphotic position, so that cobra back, so to speak, elbows in. I keep my knees locked so they're straight, right? And then in the first dip, how fast is the first dip when you load the legs? This is rather slower, right?
It shouldn't be slow, it should be fast, but without muscle contraction. You need to use, as I said, you need to use elastic energy. You can just, how fast, to find optimal speed and optimal dip. To find this, you can just do a few light jump, and the low position of jump, it will be the position of the first dip.
A few, and just standing on the spot, not from high, from a box down, but in the standing position, just up down.
Yeah,
a few light jumps.
Yeah, just light jump for just only for takeoff from the ground.
And so just to catch this, what you just said, I'm just trying to understand this. So when you dip, knees moving forward, it should happen by letting go. So elastic energy, not because I forcefully shift the knees forward, right?
Yeah, you don't need it. You don't need to pay attention to this.
You don't need to. You don't even pay attention to this. Okay.
You move knees forward only to keep the contact elbows with the hips. You understand? Because if you will make a classical squat with keeping with holding the knees in the frontal plane, you need to move the hips back.
Yes.
And when you will move the hips back, you will lose the contact elbows. It's not possible to keep the contact.
All right. So let me get this. We dip to. So number one rule, the reason why we dip is to keep the elbow contact and not to load the legs.
Yeah.
And when you dip, are you thinking about, because that's what I just recently thought about. Are you thinking about shifting your body forward or shifting your body backwards?
Backwards. Upper body doesn't change its position.
Upper body stays exactly
upper body
like
position
in a
doesn't
rack
change.
position. Up.
Okay. You just bend the knees.
That's it. So, but the upper body doesn't change, and that's something that
And the
sometimes,
and the legs with your body is on the line. This line.
And what do you focus on the most when you jerk? Especially one thing that I sometimes struggle with is
it's different. I can focus on in the same time in all elements. I focus on every elements I need. For example, on first dip, I focused on the contact, the heels with the ground, and the elbows, especially elbows with the hips. It's so important.
Heels ground and elbows hips, huh?
Yeah.
Heels ground and
then on bump, I focused on the forearm, for example, forearm position. The forearm should be vertical, not moving outside.
Yes.
Elbow should move outside. So you need to keep it.
Do you push them actively together, the elbows?
Without any effort, but yeah.
Without effort, but it's just some form of alignment.
To keep it parallel, you need disconnect your wrists, the handles. You need disconnect in the moment of bump. On the starting moment of bump, you need disconnect.
Boom, up, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Disconnect handles. And you throw it to the position when the arm are parallel to the ground. To keep it parallel, you need leaning slightly back.
Yes. That's okay. And one thing that I sometimes struggle with is I land in the second dip pretty well, but my arms are not straight yet. They straighten maybe a millisecond later. So are you actively?
It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, that's really bad. Most definitely.
It's
so
bad.
Are you
it's so important. It's not very bad, but it's so important to have already straightened arms in second dip. You need to have stability position in second dip, and the arm should switch off immediately switched off in shoulders and elbows, and without wobbling.
Yes, that's so tricky. That requires so much practice to master this.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I land. Are you actively pushing up with your arms? So there is energy. You're expending energy for the extension of the arms, right? It's like you want to punch the air. So you have to. It's not just you go up and you keep them loose. There must be tension.
To straight the arm, you don't need to move up. You need to move your body down. You need to understand.
That's another very hard thing to learn. I kind of get it a little bit now that I really have to boom this.
Yeah.
Jumping under it. Oh yeah, and that's the key all the time.
You need to think about not how to lift kettlebell overhead. You need to think about the first. You need to think how to straight the arm. It's more important than how to lift it on overhead. Don't think about how to lift it overhead. Try to think about how to straight the arms.
All right. So how can I, when I finish the bump, how can I straighten my arms as fast as possible instead of lifting the bells overhead?
Exactly.
That's the mindset. All right. Yeah.
And then you just straight the legs without stopping in second dip position. The rep already made made it.
But that's the beautiful thing about the jerk. There are so many small little details, and especially with the heavy weights.
And you need to try to keep elbows forward. To keep it forward without
without turning in.
Yeah.
Forward. Yeah. Oh, that's a good cue. Thinking that I want to put. Yeah. There's so many little things, and the heavyweight really. And so one last question: are you thinking about these things all the time, or are you getting into a little bit of an automation flow type of mode where I'm just moving, I'm not thinking?
When I started training after rest, when I only start preparing, I think about every element on especially on during warm up. Yeah, exactly. During the main set, on competition set, I try to mostly relax, try to follow the pace, pay attention on pace. But exactly, yeah, every time I pay attention every moment. But it should be automatically, because it's not possible to control all the time.
Yes. But that makes it so. Yeah.
The problem is because the movement faster than 1 second, the brain can't understand, can analyze this. So you can analyze it only you can analyze it only after movement, after action. You can the brain can analyze, but not during this.
So after everything is said and done, then you can actually think. And again, I want to reiterate how that makes this exercise so skillful. I mean, the snatch is also skillful, but the jerk is something, at least for me, it's something that I have to think. There's lots more thinking going on, even with the lighter weights, than with the snatch. And that's why I really love the jerk. It's such a powerful exercise. And
I want to notice it's good practice to do light jerk with light weight. It's good to understand, good to know how to do how you do second D. Do you use the arm muscle, especially triceps, or not? If you use your triceps, you will this fast pace with light kettlebells. Your triceps will die after 2-3 minutes. So you can to test it, you can just do jerk with high pace with light kettlebells. Because with heavy kettlebells, maybe you don't feel it because you have slow pace. It's not possible to press it heavy weight. You need you need to use you need to do more lowers. You need to do second D. But with light, you sometimes more easy to use the arms. It is because it's more easy for your brain, for a nervous system to use. You can more control your arms.
And to understand it correctly, we're not supposed to press and use too much of the triceps. We're supposed to drop under the weight. So bump it and then immediately, just like the weightlifters do it. Bump and then immediately drop below it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. That's powerful tips. We'll really appreciate it, Alex. So final question, what does your training look like currently? Are you preparing for something, and how do you train? Are you training for fun? Are you training for a competition? And how does that look like?
Now I I hope to, maybe I will back to compete, but I'm competing sometime. I have the first stage, first preparing stage, maybe some stage between transitional stage and starting of preparation period, something like this. I do now. My training is most the direction of my training is more about strength and heavy weight. So why I do snatch with heavy weight, and then I will come up with the goal, and I will start training.
And what does your typical?
But anyway, I keep doing cardio. You don't stop it because you need to you need to keep it on high level. Your general use. I reduce the volume. I'm maybe running at least 1-2 times a week, not every day, but I keep doing this because when you stop it, you need to. You will need spend time to
build it back up.
To build, exactly.
Yeah. And are you? I mean, being an elite athlete like you are, where you have these how many competitions do you do per year?
I did 16, 17. It was hard. Someday, some period.
16 competitions.
Yeah.
In 2024.
Mostly on 32. The mostly.
No, I mean the year. So in 2024, you did 16 competitions.
No. It was
okay.
3-4 years ago. For example, I could have 2 competitions in 1 week.
Wow.
1 week between the less than 1 week between the competition. It was not only live competition. I could do, for example, 120 reps, 110 reps with 32 injured. I needed to do. I need to show results close to my maximum. I supposed to show a good result.
Well, so okay, so there were times, or let's say like 4 years ago, 2019 or 2018, you did 16 competitions in a year.
Some competition, some year, yeah, I counted.
And what was that unhealthy for the body? Did you feel pain? Did you feel like I'm overloading the body? Did you feel like, no, that's too much?
I was adapted.
You're a robot. Yeah.
We can adapt for everything, but only problem is I can prepare correctly for every competition because I need to have the structure of the training, yearly plan of microcycles should be. You need to grow up your, for example, strength, your general physical preparation, and then start to improve to increase volume of training with kettlebells, special preparation, reducing the general physical preparation.
Yes. And would you, if somebody, like you mentioned, with that recommendation for snatch, aim for 200 reps with the 24, then 170 with 28 to hit the 32, would you say you have to do this once or twice a week? So twice a week of snatching at least, if somebody's preparing for an event like this?
If people train only snatch, so they can do 3-4 times a week. But if people train for example, doing CrossFit or something. In other sports, they could do at least 2 times snatch.
All right, that's good to hear. So at least
But to improve
2.
technique, much better to use it to do it more often.
Yeah, of course, of course, of course.
Exactly, snatch is enough. 2 times a week is enough to keep shape. If athlete if athlete has technique, good technique.
Yes, if the technique is good. Yeah.
If the technique is
Because
good.
here's how I do it. I wonder what you think about my schedule. So the way I train, and I'm now incorporating the snatch more and more because I want the Master of Sport and the MSIC. So what I do now is I have my regular training schedule on Monday, which is just, kettlebells general, just a little bit of GPP. And then Wednesday and Friday is always double bells with snatch. So lots of jerk, some thrusters, some squats, and then snatch at the end. And then Saturday is dedicated to the snatch only, where I start my training warming up and then focusing on the snatch only. So that's then the main part. Would you say that that's a viable strategy? That's a good strategy?
You need to start training. The first you need to do snatch because the first you need to do the technically exercises. You need to do the first exercises of technique you want to improve.
So you would turn it around. You would say, hey, if you focus on snatch, put it
exactly
first,
you need to do it first.
And then you do the rest.
And after snatch, you can do snatch, and after snatch, you can make another workout.
All right. But putting it
snatch,
first.
For snatch, you need to be fresh. You need to be fresh, better if you not train in a day before the snatch training.
Yeah. Great. And so would you say that when you prepared or when you did 16 competitions in a year, people would normally say that's dangerous for the body, especially moving all the 32s. You say, listen, I was adapted, so I'm fine. Would you say, listen, if you're adapted to these weights, you can move them forever, so to speak? Of course, the older we get, the numbers go down because, we're not that young anymore. That's fine. But would you say, listen, if you're adapted to 32s, keep pushing them. You don't have to be scared. Because people sometimes think training on that elite level can be harmful or can be dangerous. And you're saying, no, if you're adapted, it's fine. Am I right? Or
yeah, exactly. If you're adapted, for some people, dangerous would be training with 16.
Yeah.
But it depends of the individual. It depends of the currently shape of the people. And exactly 16 competition in a year. It's not means all the competition I made my maximum. Some competition is just easy. Or for example, city championship of my city, I needed to do only enough for me to do only 90 or 100 reps.
Yeah, so then it's not always going to your max. This will probably be, and that's probably impossible, right? To always max out 16 times a year. And about injury, have you been injured throughout your athletic journey once or twice, or something very dangerous or heavy?
No, it's all injuries, harmless. It's about maybe overtraining. No, overtraining means not correct design the program of training. And I have not serious injuries. I had lower back spasm muscles something like this.
Mm-hmm.
But
But nothing
just for
serious, huh? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nothing serious.
Which goes to show that that's good preparation, right? And good program design. If you're able to compete all these years without injuring yourself seriously, goes to show that this is good design, good programming.
Yeah, I had a good coach.
Yeah, Sergey, the
Good
legend,
teacher.
of course. Yes. And so, and would you agree that training like you do and being on the level that you are, it's not that you step up and say, or only if you're training for a maximum, if you say, all right, so in March I want to hit my max in jerk or whatever it is, of course you prepare for it a little bit different. But would you say that the way that you train is you train to be always ready? It's not that you take a big break and you do something completely else. You don't do the jerk or the snatch or the long cycle for the next 3 months. You do something completely different. No, you always focus. You always train these exercises. You stay with the disciplines. It's not that you move completely away from them. Is that accurate to say that they're always part of your program? So meaning you're always ready. You could go to a competition tomorrow and bust out a good amount of reps.
It's not right, because you need to be on your peak only 1-2 weeks, no longer, because it's not correctly. You need to have periodization of your training.
Yes, yes.
Different phase of
But with those
periods.
The reason why I say this, Alex, is because you said when you did these 16 competitions, there wasn't, like you said, you didn't have time or proper design for that periodization, but you were always ready, right? So you went there. Oh, all right, I have to do 100 reps. Let's do it.
No, it's not all the time. I didn't have. I couldn't prepare correctly. Because the main competition, I was preparing only for main competition, and I have many small competition. I'm headed in, for example, preparation period. So I train the mostly I had GPP stage of preparation period. In that moment, I could have the competition with 24, or just I use I was using the small competition as training.
Yeah, I like that.
Like this.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. I like that thought process, yo. I show up to your competition and I use it as another training session. I like it.
Yeah, the problem is only when the high density of the calendar and main no long period of rest between important big competition. This is not. For example, we had a few years ago, we had European Championship, and 2 weeks later or less, Russian Championship.
Yeah, these are major ones, especially the Russia ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's probably a little bit tricky, right? So then you want to perform, right? So main focus probably is the Russian Cup, right? And then, but still, European is also pretty big. So you're like, all right, so I'm a little bit in between. So I get that, most definitely. Yeah, great. But, you know, to me, it looks like you're always ready. And this is what I admire. This is what also inspires me. It's not that if somebody asks you, hey, Alex, can you drop by to a competition? It's only 24s or 28s or whatever, and you just do a set of jerk. You say, of course, yeah, I can do it, right? I'm up to the challenge. It's not that you're saying, oh no, I have to prepare for this. I didn't do jerk for the last 5 months. No, you've adapted to it, and your body is now always ready. Of course, there must be a good preparation for a very important cup,
not
right?
always ready.
Okay, but at least it looks like this. You look like you're always ready.
It looks like, but no. If I stop training for 2 weeks and I started to do jerk, it's 3 minutes, even 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Working pace, it's hard for me.
Yeah, but I think that's
I need
normal,
to
right?
adapt.
Yes. And do you think, at least I think, consider it that way. Do you think it's normal when you reach a very elite level of athleticism? Oh no. Oh, that would have been a very interesting question, but I think he lost battery. Oh no. Or maybe he ghosted me. No, I don't think so. I don't think he ghosted me. Funny thing. I thought about this a couple of weeks ago. What happens if somebody ghosts me, right? Like, I don't want to talk to this dude anymore. But I think he lost battery because he wasn't fumbling on the phone. All right. So, oh no, I wanted to ask him a couple more questions. But, always new things happen. New things happen on the podcast. So, Alex, I'm going to write you. I'm going to write you a note. Alex, wow. I hope you learned something. I've learned a lot. I've written a lot of notes. Alex is an elite lifter. Please go check him out on his Instagram. And you have to check that relay video that I watched. I think it was a couple of weeks ago when I prepped for my snatch set. I was Googling on YouTube a lot of giveaway and kettlebell sports snatch stuff. And of course, Aleksandr Khvostov came up and he was doing that relay set with the Russians. I think it was Johnny Benitez. You got to check him out. Johnny is this guy is a monster. I hope I get the chance to talk to him one day. And then he was with a couple of other Russian dudes. And yeah, I saw this on Denis Vasilev's channel. I remember this. I saw this on Denis Vasilev's channel. And I was looking, where's Denis? Where's Denis? But Denis didn't appear in that relay. So I have to ask him once because I'm going to have Denis Vasilev on again. He was the first one that I had on. And we had contact because of the competition. And I said, bro, I got to talk to you again. And yeah, and you got to check that relay video, how the Russians destroy everybody. It's like these guys to the left and to the right. It was nation pitched against nation, and it's not even funny how they obliterated everybody. And that's what I mentioned. But yeah, that's it. Was a great conversation with Alex. I hope you got a lot out of this podcast. And let me take my time and thank everybody. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching these episodes. I get so much out of it. This is a heart project, a passion project. I don't care about views or numbers or anything. I just love to talk to these guys and how much I have learned again from elite guys. You always have to just ask questions. Yeah, and I do my best to get better as a podcaster, if I can even call myself that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. And we'll catch you on the next episode. If you like this episode, you can watch another one right here or here. And if you're over 40 and you want to become strong, fit, and lean without going to the gym twice as fast, don't forget to download my free ebook in the first link in the description called the Kettlebell Code. If you're over 40, 50, or 60, you don't have a lot of time, but you still want to become strong, fit, and lean, and the kettlebell is the perfect tool for this job. And I'm going to help you how to get started. So download that free ebook right now in the first link in the description. Enjoy.